G'day guys, Mackie with the Hour Circle, and today I'm doing a little bit of enamel work, so I thought I'd quickly whip out the camera and show you as I went. I'm using some rust streaks from AK and some AK White Spirit. So again, this is enamel work, pretty fast drying. There's no perfect sort of ratio, but what I've done is I've just mixed some together in this old phone cover. I can't give you a perfect ratio, but I can tell you what works and what doesn't work, and you sort of figure it out for yourself. The model I'm working on is actually my White Scars Xiphon, which has been recently, glossed with nice varnish, and because of the gloss, as I rotate it, the sheen obviously shows up. So apologies for that. Anyway, enamels work a lot like oils, and I'll know if it's working correctly in a moment. So I'm going to load up the brush, this old broken brush, with a bit, and see what happens when I apply it. You see that? Let's try and find an angle where it really shows. See how it automatically just moves along? I just touch it to the surface. Do the same again on this side. Automatically will pull and move into all those little corners. How cool is that? And that's literally all there is to putting on these oils. Or in this case, enamels, I should say. I like enamels because they're pretty fast drying. Not at all like oils in that regard. Oils do this same sort of flow as well. There's a bit I don't like. You can use your finger or a cotton bud, that kind of thing, to get rid of it as well, I should point out. I'm no master of this stuff. I've just sort of experimented and found what works for me over time. There's no you must do it this way sort of solution. Just find what works for you. See, it automatically moves along. Try and find surfaces that I can do it on. With that. It's a pin wash. That's all this is. We're not trying to wash the whole model and cover it completely in the stuff. We're just trying to make little parts of it sort of stand out. So while I'm working around the windscreen and that kind of thing, I do want it to be a little bit dirty, but we're not talking like Death Guard levels of unclean here. That's actually a hole in the sculpt. Just want to see a nice sort of flow to it. See if I can get it in shot. Look at that, just moves along, you get this beautiful crisp lines. And that's all you're after. I keep pulling it out of shot every time I go to reload the brush. I'm sorry about that. Like I said, this is sort of a last minute dealie. I just picked up the camera and just went. Because I know a lot of people are curious about oil washes and pin washes and that kind of thing, and how good they look when they're done right. Looks great around rivets too. In fact, I'll show you. Again, loading up the brush. So there's these rivets here. When I apply it, you get this great sort of oily residue. Now, the beauty of it is, this whole vehicle's been gloss varnished. I can come back at any point later on, and what I can do is get a bit of white spirits, clean brush, and I can drag the dried oil or enamel in this case drag it and do my streaking that way. Nice clean brush. So that applied a little dirty there. You can see the smudge left over. Little white spirits on my brush, and I can just wipe away that little smudge. Now again, you really want to be, how do I put this? Glossed and prepared when you do this sort of thing, because otherwise it can lead you astray. Going to be a nice wide wash along here. Want to look nice and tarnished, like this is where all the dirt really gets in, because it's behind the cockpit and above the engines. And that's all there is really. It's not, you know, nothing crazy, nothing top tier Golden Demon Slayer sword, that kind of thing. This is just an effect. It's actually something I learned from the scale modelling community. You know, painting Panzers and Panthers and Sherman tanks and that kind of thing, and little tricks you learn along the way. I think the first person to introduce me to this was a friend, John Sutton. First told me about trying out oil washes and such on my miniatures. Bit of a learning experience at the time. And I mean, it takes a bit of effort to get it right, to get it quite right. So yeah, come a long way over the last sort of 5-6 years. You know, by doing these things is how we improve as painters, right? We don't get better by just doing nothing the whole time. And yeah, I'm just going around and just in little areas, just applying bits and pieces just to make it look a bit more dirty and worn and a bit tarnished. Maybe a bit around the winglet. Look at that spread. A bit more on the brush. Heaps of lots of little imperfections all over this thing, but that's alright. It's only tabletop standard. Nothing crazy. Just having a bit of fun painting a miniature. A bit of Bob Ross. He's a happy little miniature. He's a happy little Xiphon Interceptor. Just can't wait to unleash a Hellfire barrage on some traitor brethren. What a happy little Xiphon Interceptor this is. Yep. Lorgar bear the word, but you know, we bear the fire. The Emperor's vengeful fire. What a happy little guy this Xiphon is. Get some more of that nice rust streaks from AK onto this miniature. I actually love Bob Ross. I think he's such a gem. Just like one of those genuine nice guys. Apparently he was in the US Air Force. Bob Ross was. Yeah, how interesting is that? Look at that flow, that capillary action as it guides itself. So yeah, anyway, I'm going to continue with this for a while, and eventually this Xiphon Interceptor will be looking pretty good. I've done the white and the red pattern, obviously. Done the strong red down the forward half and the deeper red towards the rear half. Just gives it a little bit more realism. And of course, The flip side, I've actually done the underside a sort of sea grey as opposed to the bright white. Just sort of like the old World War II fighters. I just had this sort of vibe in mind that maybe it would look better with like that two-tone scheme, like an old Supermarine Spitfire, something like that. Just, yeah, rule of cool, right? By the way, I know this isn't ideal camera vision, but hey, like I said, just whipped out the camera because it's something I'm doing at home right now. I thought people might be curious to see. I'm not even trying to be delicate with it, just trying to get some colour on there. It's a beautiful thing, these enamel washers. Probably one of AK's best products, if I'm honest. They do some good stuff. I'm not the biggest fan of the company though. Just nice and delicate. Pick up some of that enamel, put it to there. Yeah. Anyway, I'm back with the outer circle, and it's just a quick hobby vlog, I guess, for my Xiphon Interceptor. See you all next time.